Hi, welcome back everybody. It's Mike Newton down here at Lytham Golf Academy. We've got a brand new product to review and it's Titleist, and they're bringing out a whole new range of irons. So in this particular video, we're going to take a closer look at the new blade, the new MB, and then also the CB. Okay, so they have brought out some other irons, which is the T range with T100, T200, T300. That's going to be a separate review video, so that'll be coming very, very soon. If not, it'll be already on my channel, so you can go and check that out. But this video, we're going to take a closer look at the players' irons with the MB and the CB. Okay, so we're going to start off with the the MB, the pure out blade. And I'll tell you what, this is a stunning looking golf club. And we know Titleist makes some fantastic looking irons, and the MB's been in the range for a long time. And really, what can you do to change a blade? There's not a massive amount happening in the actual head, is there? So there's going to be some very subtle changes happening here, if anything. But again, just a very classic looking, very clean on the back. I love that sort of satin, little bit of a polish in there as well, but not too high gloss, which I quite like. And I just love the very simple Titleist logo in the back of it, and that is it. There's no actual MB written on there. Bear in mind, this is a fitting iron, so there might be something in the hose, I don't know. I've not actually seen an actual glued version. This is a fitting iron, but just that lovely Titleist logo on the back. And the Titleist logo is actually a little bit bigger than what you see in the other models of iron, so it's a little bit, I think, a bit retro-y sort of look to it, but very clean look, as you'd expect from a sort of true player's blade iron. And when you sit down by the golf ball, it's beautiful, you know, sort of medium to thin top line there, very little offset, squat blade length, very stunning. Okay, let's get this first one hit, see how this performs. Okay, good solid feel to that. It wasn't the greatest of strikes, but it just pushed a fraction. It's done all right there though, to be fair. It's come out a bit better than what it felt, to be honest. So that hit the target pretty nice. I've got myself set up about 167 out from the flag on this particular one. That last one there spun at 7,000 on the spin. So this is a 7-iron that I am hitting. So we're typically going to see probably a bigger spin number with this type of iron, you know, with a loft. And, you know, just that real control and playability of this club. Oh, that's beautiful. That felt lovely. Just slide up that left-hand side there. Just catch that left edge, but that felt stunning. That's gone a long way there. A little bit, obviously pulley just goes that little bit longer. But again, fully forged on the head. Beautiful feel, as you'd always expect from this type of club. That's good. That's a tiny bit low in the club face, and that's probably the beauty with these types of club. The feedback you get from your slight imperfections of strike, you'll feel it a lot more, maybe more so than a cavity back iron, a game improvement iron. So there's always an argument here that, oh, blades, no, you shouldn't be playing with blades, just too hard to hit. The other flip side of that is, you know, you play a blade, you know exactly where you're hitting it, and that could make you better, make you focus, of kind of get your ball striking better. So there's an argument both ways, I would always sort of say. But I think you've always have to just make sure your striking is reasonable. You couldn't go into a blade if you're hitting it extreme toe heel, because you will definitely get punished a lot more. Ah, feels beautiful. Lovely high towering ball flight. We know there's going to be some spin on that. Oh, did I just hit the flag? I think I've just hit the flag there. It's actually come back off the front edge of the green. Well, I've never done that before. Definitely wasn't backspin that. It's actually hit the flag, just when you don't really want it to hit the flag. Okay, so very good on the accuracy, obviously. Again. Beautiful ball flight. You just know that's going to stop quick. Just left that out there a tiny bit on that particular shot. Okay, so there's a batch of shots we hit with the MB, the Pure Players blade iron. Beautiful looking golf club. Let's switch into the next one, which is the CB. So a little bit of a slight cavity happening on the CB, but we'll see how that maybe just stacks up against the MB. Okay, so moving into the CB. So again, keeping that CB cavity back. Sort of name from previous models, obviously superseding now and giving a slightly new modern look, which again looks, for me, it looks superb. That satin finish in there again, obviously we've got that cavity, that small cavity, but looking at the sole of the club, just a tiny bit wider than the MB, just a tiny bit, but again, as you present that down by the golf ball, the sort of squat head is still there, slightly thicker on that top edge and a fraction more offset. That's what you're just going to see, a slight difference there, but the shaping of the head is very, very similar to what you see with the MB. So very much an iron that you could blend, and a lot of guys will do this, will blend this as a set, so possibly CB in those longer irons and then moving into MB in the shorter ones for that little bit more control and playability. Okay, so same distance from the flag. I've got myself set up, got the same shaft, again 2 degrees upright, which is more my spec. Okay, just a little bit on that left hand side. I struck it beautifully there, it felt really good. Yeah, so it just goes a little bit longer with that slight pull. As we know, pull will always go a little bit longer. So feel wise, probably not going to see, and I don't really feel a massive difference between them. Again, we're still forged. You know, we're not doing massively different from the CB apart from, sorry, from the MB apart from that sort of cavity that we're seeing in there now. Felt nice. Acoustic wise, very, very nice, as you expect from that type of iron. So there's a little correction from that pull there, just left one out there, very similar to what I hit with that CB. So we know those ones that I just peel off to the right a little bit will always pick up a little bit more spin. So that's spun at 7,600, which is a little bit on the high side, but again, it's that shape of shot, a little push, slight bit of cut there will always spin up a little bit more than obviously the one that you would hit maybe more up that left-hand side. That's lovely. That's really nice. Seems to come out quite strong, yeah, a little bit further with that. Again, looks to be some good stopping power there. That's a nice strike. Yeah, and that's spun just under 6,900. So still keeping that control. So this is where CBs tend to be more in that player's bracket again, who wants that ultimate control. Not too worried on masses of distance here, but does want that stopping power when it comes into land. Definitely going to get that with the CB and the MB. Again, good strike, just turned a slight on that left side, catch that left edge. Yeah, just going off that sort of left side. Again, strike was good. So the other aspect we see in MB and CB is a little chamfered off leading edge on that sole of the club. So this is going to help a little bit with turf interaction. So you can see it sort of comes to like a little point, maybe sort of half a centimetre in from that leading edge. So this is all about turf interaction, so we're not going to get too much of a sharper leading edge. So typically the better player would hit more down on it. So if you're hitting down, we don't want too sharp a leading edge, we'll get that sort of leading edge will start digging too much. So they chamfer that off a little bit, create what looks to be a little bit of bounce there, which helps to get that club working into the ground, but then getting back out of that turf as smooth as sort of possible. So you see that in both MB and CB. Again, lovely strike. Feels great. I say, feels very similar to the MB. Slight subtle differences of look, obviously bigger differences when you look at the back of the club from a pure blade to that small cavity back there. But let's look at some numbers in a little bit more detail and see how those two irons are performing. Okay, so a quick look at the sort of numbers. So we've got MB on the top, CB on the bottom. So we're looking at club head, ball speed there, very, very similar, 121 area. Launching pretty identical, spinning pretty identical. Peak of the height identical, and carry distance identical. So we can't really sort of split these two irons together. And to be honest, it's something that I probably wouldn't want to be too far apart, and I'm guessing this is Titleist don't want it to be too far apart either, because there's going to be a lot of blending going on, as I mentioned earlier. So typically we would see a lot of, or a popular set makeup would be CB in those short irons and then moving to CB in the longer irons, which just gives that a little bit more forgiveness. And that's probably the difference between these two clubs, is just that little bit more forgiveness with the CB against the MB, and that's purely it. So great option to sort of blend if you don't feel too confident in those longer irons, and you'll see a lot of the tall guys will sort of do that also. But two irons that are performing pretty much identical, just that little bit of forgiveness difference. Okay guys, so there we go, there's the MB and the CB hit from Titleist. So brand new lineup. Again, we've got the T100, 200, 300 irons, which are coming to my channel very soon. If not, they're already on there live, so you can go and check those out. So complete new fresh lineup. But I think really the MB and the CB, they're the least sort of changed in a way from previous models. Again, purely because you can't do a massive amount with that player's iron, especially with a blade. There's only so much you can really sort of tinker and do. It's just more of a refresh to sit in a long line with the other iron. So possibly if you've already got a set of MBs, is it warrant upgrade into another set of MBs? Probably only if they're absolutely battered and worn out, possibly, yeah. Otherwise, I don't reckon you're going to see a difference of performance, in all honesty. But two cracking irons, two beautiful looking irons, and I think, you know, anybody who's in that real good ball striking category, the MBs are fantastic, but the CBs are doing a great job if you just feel like you want that little bit of a backup of forgiveness. So post comments down below, let me know your thoughts on the MB and the CBs. Is that an iron that you would definitely go out and have a little look at? Do you already own a set? Would you upgrade? I'd love to hear your thoughts as always. If you're enjoying the videos and you haven't subscribed, very much appreciate you hitting that subscribe button. Ring the bell to get notifications of any future videos. You'll be one of the very first ones to watch as soon as it lands on my channel. Also hook up on my social media platforms, both Instagram and Twitter, and the handles there are @MN Golf Coach. And hopefully we'll catch up with you all very soon.